All right. And on this episode of the Light on the Trail podcast, this is a long-awaited and well-needed episode. I have a guest from episode 8. The title of the episode was 6'5", 400 pounds, and his first 5K. It's my good buddy, brother, Brandon Cox. And we've tried this like 4 times. Brandon, is that correct? This is like maybe the 4th time and it's working okay?
Yes, it's been a struggle.
It has been a struggle. Both of us have decent internet. Weather hasn't been bad.
I'm just glad it's finally here. I mean, we almost had a whole episode recorded.
Yeah.
At one time, I think we got like halfway.
It was about halfway.
It was an amazing conversation.
We could be there now. We could be on top.
No one can hear it no more.
No one ever. Okay, so to recap, the first episode was you kind of getting into running, wanting to kind of start that and just be active. You're a great dad. You're really busy with your kids, and your oldest is your son Uriah, and he's in boxing now. But so that was your first 5K, and we went over that and all. So both of us actually have races tomorrow. What are you doing tomorrow, Mr. Brandon? So
I am doing another 5K, but this one starts with what they call the mini incline. It's 200 steps, like almost straight up. It's gonna burn your legs out. Then you go, okay, now go run 5K. So I'm pretty excited because ultimately I'm training for a 10K in August. So I'm just trying to get as much miles and everything else I can.
Yeah.
So in August, I don't embarrass myself.
How many 5Ks have you done now? Because that's why we've got to talk. You just did your second one. We got to talk. You're doing this. Like, you've done more races than me this year.
So since the July 4th was the first one I ran of last year, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I've done maybe like 4. That's awesome.
Outside of football season, I don't have a lot to do on Saturdays. So I was like, might as well just go find somewhere to run.
Yeah. And you're in Colorado. Like, there's a lot of running and outdoorsy stuff.
Every weekend. I think the most I've drove is like maybe 15, 20 minutes to get
serious?
to a place. Yeah. They're all over here. Especially now summer's here, they're everywhere. Sometimes there's like 4 of them in one day. So it's like, which one do I want?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I recently on my 50 miler I just did, that was a 5-hour drive.
Ooh, yeah.
Right, and in the same state. What I was gonna say. So you said like the mini Manitou, right? So you're in Colorado. So referring to the Manitou incline, which is down the road from you too, right? But that's that. Have you ever seen pictures of like a whole bunch of stairs, like up half of a big hill? It's that thing. Do you know how many stairs there is on that one?
I think it's 2,200.
I know it's like ridiculous.
It's like a mile straight up. If you just. So I done it. I did it since our last episode. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. My legs were just on fire the whole time, but as soon as I got to the top, 5 minutes afterwards, I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, now you got to go back down.
Yeah, but luckily there's a trail. They don't want you walking down it, I guess. But here's the best part. So I'm going up it. I'm going my own pace. I don't care about no one else. This lady passes me. All good. I see her run down. All good. She does this 4 more times while I'm still on my way up.
No.
And now at this point, I'm like, I'm going to trip her. I'm sick of seeing her. I'm just going to trip her, let her know, hey, stop embarrassing me like this. Yeah, knock it off. And this older lady, she's like, I just passed her, and she's like, baby, don't worry about her. She's an Olympic sprinter. She does this every other day. I'm like, okay, that makes me feel a little better. It's not just some lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, she passes.
Yeah.
So what?
That was crazy.
That's all. Yeah, man, you've sent me pictures and stuff out there. It is like what they say. It's pretty beautiful and awesome.
It's
You
definitely
did
worth it. Definitely worth
you
it.
did run a 10K though, didn't you?
So I've done it like just training around my house, but so my first official one is in August.
Oh,
August
okay,
10th.
okay. Oh yeah, getting close.
It's almost here.
And is that? I think I asked you this. Is it a mixture of like trail and paved or gravel or what?
So it's mostly pavement, but there's a little bit of trails.
Right.
If it's like the one we did last year, it starts inside of a soccer stadium, and then you like go off into the street, then into some trails, and obviously work your way back to the stadium. It's a
Nice.
pretty cool one. It's called like the hometown 10K. I don't know if they have them down there or not.
I mean, the DFW era is fairly big, so there's a lot of stuff going on. But if you're in the DFW area, I'm outside of it. Thankfully, actually, they do have one that I did last year. I wanted to do it again this year. The Got Your Six 5K, so it helps support stuff for one of the local law enforcement places. And I didn't get to do it this year. Not that what did I got fourth last year, I think, and that was cool. It was just like I'll just go what I can do and go kind of fast. And I'm like, oh, I did all right. But this year is a little more, I think, well known, and like people were booking it. You think you do good, and then you see somebody running up and down stairs like you're saying, and you're like, what? Stop. So that's what they mean by speed.
Yeah, there's a couple times when I'm running or doing my thing, and I think I'm towards the top. I mean, I'm not obviously up front or nothing, but I'm in the top half. So I'll be like 10 minutes into it or whatever, and you see someone already running back. You're like, what the heck? It's like, I just started. I just now started breaking a sweat. How are you done?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. And that 5K I was just talking about, the Got Your Six. It is a down and back. So
Yeah.
you see, that whole. I do like that. That's how the parts of the 50 miler was kind of like a bubble. Like you'd go only one direction, and then some parts were like towards each other, so you could kind of see. That's nice for more like interaction, more like keep it up, man, good job, all that kind of stuff. And then you can also kind of, if you are trying to compete or if you're trying to whatever, like my goals, I'm not gonna let this guy catch me or whatever. Like you can kind of see people again and be like, oh man, that person is catching up or whatever. I do like that. There's also that side like of doing one big loop of something, so it's always new terrain and you don't know what's around the corner, and that's pretty exciting too.
So for me, because 5Ks are still, sometimes they get a little challenging, I guess the word for it is. I like when it's not there and back because I don't know how much is left. So I don't play that mind game where it's like, well, I think I have about a mile left. And then it's like, dude, this has been the longest mile I've ever been a part of. You're like, oh, wait, I forgot about this part. So I like just running, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's the finish line. So I kind of like that. I do like the interactions, though, like you said. Sometimes when you're running back and you get a little smile from someone, and it's like, oh, it's the
nice.
support is nice. It's very nice.
Definitely. Yeah. What has your since you've been a runner for about a year now, and this podcast just hit a year as well, which makes sense since I guess our first episode was in July. But
Happy birthday.
yeah, happy birthday, Light on the Trail, all my Lot Pod buddies. Now what was I going to say? Oh, what's your impression of like the running community? Mostly good, mostly bad?
So obviously the first one I did, I was so scared of like, man, I'm gonna be the last one. I even texted you before. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm afraid to be the last person. For some reason you think you're gonna cross the line, everyone's gonna point and laugh, but
Right.
obviously it has never happened. At least they've done it behind my back where I don't see them.
He's coming. Be quiet.
Yeah. Everyone's been so nice. Everyone's been so supportive. You do run into a lot of the same people. I've actually got people from my job. There's been a few times I'm like, oh my God, we're both running? That's awesome.
Dude, that's nice.
it's really been cool because, like you talked about before, you just be staying there, all of a sudden you're in a big conversation with people you've never met before, and everyone's so inclusive,
Yeah,
and it's
it's good.
it's I'm a football coach, and I, my kids are in sports. It's the same thing. When people get together, they're trying to complete the same goal, one way or another. There's just a bonding element to that you really can't get anywhere else but sports.
Yeah, yes, but when it doesn't have to be competition, but something where like you're working, and this person's working and I'm working too, and like, hey, you're here, like obviously we've got something in common. We're trying, so it definitely, it's an easy kind of way to just start conversations and move along, and especially when again you're seeing the same kind of person, you're like, oh man, keep it up, bud. You're looking great and everything. So it's it's been, I would echo that. Yeah, always just real good, and most of the time happy. I would say the worst, and worst just because this would be the worst thing, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't even like with a runner. When I was helping out at a race one time, a participant, I guess, someone that was going to run the next day. It was packet pickup time, and this lady came, and she had already been talking to the RD, and she's like, I can't run tomorrow because she twisted her ankle or something, and she had like a little casty, not like a cast, but like a brace on, and so she gets over and she's like, yeah, so can I get my like the stuff? And he's like, well, I'll give you paid for the shirt, but it's not refundable. She's like, okay, but can I get the medal? I'm like, no.
It does say
didn't
finish on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now she did. He made a deal with her, just trying to be nice and I guess keep a customer to say or something. But he said, like, first he said no a couple times, like, you can't, like, this is for people who finish the race. I'll give you your shirt and all this things, but this is a finishing. This is for people that kind of take away from them. And she kind of threw a fit and everything. And that's what I'm saying about the worst thing. Like, really, like you know better. Why would you want the medal? And that too, she kind of like, she was the same, this personality of like, she listed off like 10 other races she's done or something. And it's like, that doesn't matter. That's not this race. Like, well, they did it for me. Like, that's different. That's a year ago. Anyway, he let her like, okay, if you'll message me tomorrow, send me your Strava that you ran the distance at least, then I'll send it to you in the mail. Like, okay. So something, but that was just a weird, like, it should be that simple. Like, it's for finishers of the race. You can't do it. I'm sorry. Like, we'll move you to another race date or something else, but not terrible, but kind of icky.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is for completing it. I do like getting the medals. Ultimately, it's not supposed. I guess the medals aren't supposed to be the reason to do the race.
Right.
But I sure do like getting them.
Yeah, I can. Now this is all audio, but I can't tilt my. I see you looking at your little metal wall.
Yeah,
you can't.
medal.
If I tilt me enough, you can't really see it over there. It's way over there by my window, but it's getting heavy. I'm about to have to reinforce that.
Oh
baby.
yeah, you got a lot more than me. I got some for my son. Because I
This is mine and my son's medals.
Yeah, I forced him to do them with me, and he's actually
city
came in
one's cool
like.
looking.
Yeah, that's the one I did. It's the 10K I'm doing. That's the 5K of the one I did last year.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, this one has a dinosaur on it. But yeah, I get my son to do them with me because, well, I'm his dad and I can force him. And he's actually like came in second and third place a few times. And so I think he enjoys it. He doesn't enjoy it as much as I do, but he
I'm sure he likes doing it with you and getting the medals cool, but also he's definitely a kid who likes work. He's not afraid of work, but also exerting himself or doing something that is beneficial.
And it's good for him because he's a bigger kid. He's actually real lean now for his size. But so running's not his natural thing either. Just like me being a lineman, it was not natural for me to run. So I think he likes getting out of his comfort zone like I do.
Very now, yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier, like I haven't seen you in a year. We talk and text often, but you're like lean, like you're a different person. So, how do you know what you weigh right now, or how much in the last year you've lost?
Now, if I've learned anything from listening to your show and a couple others, you got to be honest.
I
And I'm
would
not gonna
appreciate
lie,
it.
I lied last episode. It was a white lie. It, I told you I was 6'5", 400 pounds.
I mean, I'm
Uh,
sure close.
I was, that was close. I just left a few numbers out. The last episode, I was 6'5", 6'6" on a good day. I was 450 pounds.
450?
Yes, I just took the 5 and just, left that part out. So now, it's been almost a year later. I am 348.
What, dude? That's
So,
like 100 pounds.
and that one's not a lie. That's the actual.
All right, next episode. This time next year. We'll
Okay, I was
Dude.
348.3. That's what it is.
Yeah, point 0.3. Sorry, guys. Dude, I can tell. 100
Oh,
pounds?
thank you. So total, I have lost 220 pounds.
Oh, can I just not do math? It kind of skipped. Wait.
100 pounds from the last episode,
Oh, okay.
but more from before that.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, man, I think I'm not that bad at math. Dude.
No, you were good
Kill it.
on that part.
Yeah, your face is looking leaner. You're more toned and stuff. It's
I am almost to my high school weight.
Hey, cupcake's coming back.
Just wish I had the hairline from high school.
Yeah, and now we are middle-aged white men.
Oh, man. You're not wrong.
I've been growing my hair out, and by that it just means it's getting long, which is highly frustrating, and just have to wear a hat more. And now it looks like my hair is just blowing out my back of my hat. But I'm probably gonna, I don't know, shave it soon. The wife likes it, so I'm like, whatever. I'll just leave it.
My wife likes it when I have a beard, but every once in a while, just tick her off a little bit, I'll shave it.
Shave it. What else did I want to talk to you about? Running related, running stuff. With your Strava, did you see? Speaking of wives too, that Jordan has on Strava too. I think I made her add you or find you on there.
I did not see that.
Well, if Strava's listening, because I'm sure they are, that's my biggest pet peeve. It's very hard to search people in specific things. Like if I just search you, I'm sure there's a way it could connect to my contacts. I kind of would rather it not, so I guess it's okay. But it'll start showing Brandon like Kohlers before it shows all the Brandon like Coxes. I'm like, this should not be this difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I have
If you
other
put
ways to search.
Cox, it'll be like everything else. Like Brandon Cook.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not.
Yeah,
that's
there's
not-
more.
Yeah.
But she did,
Oh.
and so she's running the race tomorrow too. So, but she's doing the 1 lap, the 8 mile, and I'm doing the
That's
2,
awesome.
or
That's
the 2
awesome.
lap, whatever. Yeah, she's not happy.
It's cool to have someone to run with, too, though. Even if y'all doing different mileage.
Yeah, there's a lot of she's got to know quite a few people from the Burleson running community club rather, and they're gonna be there. And some of the ladies there, they've already talked to her like, hey, we're gonna be there. I don't plan on hightailing it at all. I'll do a little fast walk and a little light jog if you want to hang out with me or hang out with so and so. So that's definitely giving her some comfort in that. Like one of the ladies texted her today too and was like, "Ooh, ready?" So I think she's feeling more comfortable about it. She's more competitive than she lets off. Like when we went to the Tuesday meetup, which I never get to like meet them because we're always so busy. I was like, hey, we can go. This would be good. They do a little 5K down and back. And I was like, we should go. This would be good for Tuesday for our race Saturday, just to have a little shakeout and get moving. And so we did that. And there was a couple other ladies there, and they kind of like, they'd pass us, and they'd walk. They were doing kind of like interval stuff. And she was like, oh, we're almost back. Like, I want to be in front of them. I want to catch up to them. I'm like, oh, do you? Okay, let's speed up. But I think she's definitely going to enjoy it. I know she can do it. The weather's going to be kind of hot, but she's going to start at 7:30, so it will be sunny and warm by then, but it won't be too bad. I think it's going to be what it is, and when you push yourself and get things done, you're kind of like, oh, I think I'm pretty all right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty competitive with it. I try to find someone who's around the size of me and like, I gotta beat you. I have to beat you. There's no hard feelings between us, but there is. So I might give you a little, like a little growl. He won't ever know, but I know.
Yeah. This is me dropping the hammer.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, ugh. Go by kind of slightly quicker. And now he sees the back of you and he's like, this dude. I got to catch him. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I have some loose goals for tomorrow. I haven't like really tried to be competitive. I'm always like, whatever starts feeling good after 10 or 15 minutes, I'm gonna settle in around some speed and then I'll just do my thing, and whatever happens. I've got a little bit more of like wanting to like start off and stay in the top 5 and stay with whatever pace that is and see how it feels then, and then maybe cut back if I have to or not. We'll see. Again, my training hasn't been what it needs to be, so I'm accepting that. We'll start off and see how it goes. And then if not, then I have some pace ideas in my head that I'm going to try to keep. The course isn't too crazy. There's one little climb at the top of it's an aid station, and then you go back down and you're like pretty close to the start. But not too wild. So I think it's a decent course to try to do that on too. So we will see. It's good to have goals and things, even if you have plan A and plan D. But we'll see. I'm looking good to it.
Can I make a complaint?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's one of my pet peeves. I do have one complaint about this racing community. I'm sorry. I don't want no hateful emails. My only complaint: when we're running past a aid station, they're giving us water. I never take the water because I'm the man. We don't drink water.
No water at all.
But I see people like there's a trash can, a couple feet up, so you can drink it, and people just completely miss that trash can. There's cups everywhere. How hard is it to land a cup in a trash can?
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time it's right where the track is, so you're literally just gotta drop it, and cups everywhere.
Yeah, it definitely does bother me when I see the litter out. If you're not like, I understand if you're booking it, if you're in the top 5, maybe top 10. Maybe, but like I understand you're flying by and like not being able to throw it away, but that's why I like my vest. I keep contemplating wanting to get a handheld, so there's not a lot of stuff on my back, and I usually don't drink that much water. Now it's getting hot again, but I like my vest because it has all the pockets. Mm-hmm. So one's a zipper, and I put all my trash in one of the pockets with the zipper on it, and I don't lose any trash. I don't have to worry about it. My hands are free, so I like that too. That's why I like the vest. And I don't have to stop at aid stations. If I had one handheld bottle and I did run out, if it's a 16 or 20 ounce bottle or whatnot, then I would need to stop and fill that up. Where I've got, I can have 2 bottles, what I usually have, and then I could have a bladder even if I wanted to, and still have pockets and all that kind of stuff. So the vest is very, very useful. But yes, back to litter. That's not cool, guys. It's whole.
My only complaint.
Well, that's not too bad.
And it's not even for me. It doesn't affect me at all. But I'm just like, guys, it's right there. It's like,
yeah.
If this is my house and those are my kids, I'd be so mad at y'all.
Let's see. What? Oh my gosh, I was gonna ask you. If you have different. Have you had the same? Yeah. What about gear? Have you had the same shoes or anything new you tried or didn't like? Or what about like fueling? Anything specific? You just like water before and after? Or you tried?
So, yeah. I try to go pretty minimalist. I'm not doing these crazy mileage, but I try to wear as least amount of clothes as I can.
Agreed.
I do like having music. It just helps me zone out. So I have obviously I have my phone for the music, but I'll put it like one of those arm sleeves.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just keep it really simple. and I'll drink water before and water afterwards. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you're not, like you said, you're not really worried about drinking during the run. You're just zoning out and getting it done.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
try to
have
make
one of the
I make the communication with the other just through facials, like, or
do the
a little
the
thumbs up and
little thumbs up, head nod,
yeah.
head nod. Yeah, yeah, I'm good. Okay, bye. Yeah, the arm strap with the it's like a Velcro, and you'll have like the little see-through plastic spot, like something like that.
Yeah,
you're talking about
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, yep.
So the
I've
one
got
I have,
pre-order one.
it covers your phone completely, which I think I like better because I don't want to be looking at it, and I just want to.
Yeah,
I want my music, and obviously, I put a playlist on, and I just try to zone out. And that's what I like.
yeah.
I do need
I,
new shoes though. My shoes are getting pretty ragged.
Now, are these like your? Do you have specific like running, training, workout shoes that you're using, or are these like your daily shoes for everything?
I have Pacific shoes I run with.
Okay. So yeah, very good, nice. I will say, there's a bit of a, what's the term? I don't know what the term is for it. Whatever. People that if I'm by myself, I do listen to maybe a podcast or something. But it's like, I guess it's like an inside joke or something. But people that have earbuds or music in, because then you can't. I think it's more for like trails. So like if someone's trying to get by you, like, they'll be like on your left, or like a biker or something, and you can't hear them. So they're just like doot blocking the whole trail. But I like having my Bluetooth speaker again in my vest because it's got a little zipper in the back. It's like a little backpack, and I'll have it. My phone can fit back there and the speaker, and then I'll have that turned on, where I can hear everything around me still. But I definitely when I'm by myself.
So there is a secret to prevent what you said. If you're slow enough and you get far enough in the back, that never happens. No one's ever passing me. I'm never passing anyone else. It's blue skies and that's it.
Have you seen? I haven't got any yet. I really like the idea, and they've been around for a while. They're genius and they work really well. The bone induction headphones, like they wrap around your head like normal like headphones like these, but they press against like your tragus area.
I have seen those.
Yeah, they're not in your ear canal. They fit right there, so you can still kind of be aware of your environment and everything. I'm like, that's genius.
That's a good idea. I've
Very
also
cool.
seen the sunglasses, or it plays music. Same thing, kind of plays it right there.
Oh yeah, nice. That's wow, what a world. Technology. Ooh, world. Since I said world, that reminds me of the verse that I wanted to read. Just let me find it again. Okay, good old back to technology too. Oh, what am I in? You tell me. This was something I saved earlier. Oh, James. Oh, James, one of my favorite books. Probably James and Matthew are probably my favorite. So James 3:12. You desire and you do not have, so you murder. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask. This is where kind of the main part is. You ask and do not receive because you ask wrongly, to spend it on your own passions. So you adulterous people, he's talking, this is Paul, I believe, James talking to one of the churches, I think. What do you say? You do not know the friendship with the world is the enmity with God. Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. So, right, that's a lot of words. But if you're going to ask for something from God or pray about something, make sure that you know if you're asking for it to be something for your goodness and your glory, it's not going to work. If you're asking him for something that may be done in his perfect will, that's a little more the right game. So if it's for the world's, you shouldn't concern yourself with things of the world, but of what he wants and everything. But there's a lot in that, but it's very deep. What did I say? Why did I say world? That's what reminded me. I said world, and it made me think of the.
I don't know.
Oh, I said what a world. We were talking about technology.
Yes.
I said, oh, what a world. Anyway, so there's a big deep dive for something. Anyway, there's your passage. James is a great book. You should read that. Of the many of the Bible, but. Man, what I have, the races I have kind of picked out still coming up. Oh, that's true too. Okay, two things. One might be another race I'm going to add, but I'm waiting to hear back from some buddies, and I had someone else reach out to me and invite me to join their team. There's a relay race coming up, that I've wanted to do. I've liked the ideas of, if you've heard like a Ragnar before, it's kind of like a long road. I think they do some trail stuff too, but it's any kind of relay race. I think is a neat idea for a trail thing. So they have there's like a 3, a 6, and a 9 hour, as many laps as you can on this trail, and it's like a 5K loop. So it's the max team is like 3 people, and I think I might talk to this about on the last episode too. But just telling you about it. So if you and 2 buddies are doing a 5K, like if you ran a 5K, then whoever's like, you have to wait for 2 people before you have to run again. So you've got a good amount of time to rest, hang out at the camp and chill, and it's night, so it's not gonna be so sunny. You have to have a headlamp and all that. But I think it's a fun idea, and it's just as many laps you can do to win, but all the proceeds, I won't say all, it's not all proceeds, but it's helps support to send Bibles across the world and stuff too. But that's going to be cool. I think that's a really neat little different twist on a race. And then speaking of different types of races, I'm still looking into, might have a chance to do a backyard race. Every hour on the hour, you start this, it's like 3 something, almost 4-ish, like 4-ish mile loop, and it's the last man standing.
Oh.
So you just, every hour on the hour, you have to take a lap, come back, and then, how fast you do it is how much more time you have to clean up or eat or whatever you got to do. But you got to start every hour. It adds up to be the original way, whatever the distance is to be, to make 100 miles in 24 hours.
That's cool. I like that.
It's crazy. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, because I like that kind of crazy, like mental toughness thing. Like, ooh, just one more lap every time. And like, I don't know, now I'm kind of treading in that water. Like, I'm gonna push myself like that until I cry.
Yeah. The only one I really got like set is the 10K on August 10th. And then I'm just trying to sprinkle some more in there. Then my goal is after that, I'm gonna keep doing 10Ks and then half marathons. The next goal. Yeah.
Ooh.
So this time next year should be a half marathon. That's the goal.
Dude, that is a stint. Even a 10K is all, dude. 6 miles, 6.2 or whatever. That's it's a lot. Even a 5K, like every time, and we've talked about this before. Me and Jordan were talking about it too. Like, you might be feeling kind of fresh and ready to run, and no matter like what, within like 10 minutes or so, I feel like my heart rate's way too high, and I'm like, this is a lot. This is a really hard effort. It feels like it shouldn't be this hard. And like, it takes a second for it to wear off, and like my body will adjust and know it's not dying, and like, okay, we're cool now. And like, it works out.
I ran a 10K the other day at home. I went as far as until hit a 5K and just came back. That was my goal.
Yeah.
So I did. The next day I was feeling really good, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go do me another 5K. I just did that. I'm feeling it.
What's half of that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I went about 10 minutes into it. I was like, that was a dumb idea. My legs are cramping. I was like, I think I'm just gonna walk. I'm just walking this one.
Oh, is that the one? I remember you told me when you were doing that, and you're going out again. I was like, dang, he's after it. And you're like, it's kind of turned into more of a walk. It was a slow, yeah.
I was like, well, I had good intentions.
That's right. You were out there. And that's what I said. So like, you did it. You were trying to do something.
That's my goal. I just constantly trying to keep moving, keep doing something every day.
Yes. Now that I have more of I've had, it's been over a year now. I've had more of like an office job, or the most kind of office job that I've had. And the last place was really close to where I like to run. And on lunch sometimes I would just go and do like something. And that was very helpful. And I had more like moving around that I needed to do to like go talk to somebody in their office or whatnot. And now this job that I have, I've been there 4 or so, 5 months or whatever. And it's kind of just me, and I need to get what I need to do. And like, it's either if I leave early or run early or after, but it's a lot more sitting and like stagnant. I'll stop. If I can remember, I need to like write me down like a timer or something to do it. But I'll stop and do like 30 push-ups, like 20 air squats, and like stretch a little bit, and then get up and do this. Okay, it's been like 20 minutes, do it again, and like something to get my blood flowing and like not be sitting on my dang butt. But yeah, do you side tangent? Because I was gonna say don't die in the chair, but that's a saying from 3 of 7 podcast. Do you listen to them?
I do not.
Oh, feel bad talk about a podcast on a podcast, but that's a really good podcast. And they kind of push that a lot. Do hard things and keep going and better yourself. And they'll actually read a lot in the Bible and Scripture too. But 3 of 7 podcasts are pretty cool. But don't die in the chair. So man, I think we're pretty well caught up. I would like to. We don't have to talk about it here. I was gonna say, Uriah being awesome in boxing, and like so they had to throw him like someone 4 years older than him to train against.
Yeah, my poor boy. So he's 11, and these kids came into the gym from another gym looking to spar. It was a 14-year-old, same weight. My son's 140, he's 140, so they got matched up. And my son has never been beat up before, and this kid beat up my boy. It was almost like I was like, oh my god, when the mom, my baby,
my baby,
my baby. I was like trying not to be that parent, and then I'm also trying not to be. Cause I do coach them in football. I'm trying not to be the parent that overdoes the coach, because once the parents does that, it kind of builds a bad relationship, and it kind of breaks that barrier. So I was like, okay, let his coach handles it. He handled it for a minute. Then I went over there, and he's like bawling. So I'm trying not to bawl. My baby got beat up. It was a rough day for us. But to give him credit and all that, afterwards we walked outside. I was like, man, we can quit. You got beat up. You didn't like it. We can quit. We can go home, or we come back tomorrow. And he chose to come back tomorrow. That's actually where he's at right now, as we record. He's at boxing.
See, that's where I'm getting at with this talk. Like that's the awesome, the awesome dad stuff that you have to kind of people need to think about and hear and like. But you want them to say, that's the best. Like, hey, look, this is what we're trying to do. Bad days are gonna happen. Good days are gonna happen. What are you gonna do? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, and then things suck, or you roll your ankle and you can't run for 3 months, and you're like, all my training's out the window. I shouldn't even run anymore. Like, what are you gonna do? And so, with how you've, raised him, and then him to answer back or respond like, yeah, that sucked, but we'll get back on the horse and like do it. You're like, that's my boy. Like, yeah.
I was very proud of that moment because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't pushing him that way. I wanted it to be his decision. Make sure, I wanted him to make the right decision, and he did. So I was real happy about that. And then the next day I talked to him and be like, look, all throughout your life, you're going to get beat up like that. If it's not in the boxing ring, it's going to be in football. When we've been beat up in football, the world is always going to try to beat you down. You got to keep getting back up. Because once you quit, quitting becomes easy, and you're going to quit in everything you do. So we just don't, we never quit.
Yeah, making excuses gives you room to make excuses.
Yeah.
And, it's a fine line between being realistic and considering, like, what should I do now? Should I push myself? Am I being dumb? Or am I being a baby? Yeah. And that can definitely be hard, especially for grown adults or grown men, I'm sure. Man, I had a good point, too. I was thinking when you're going through that. But, that's how it's very important. The easier, if you start to kind of lean that way, then it's easier to accept that, I guess, more and not move forward. But, dang it, I had a good point with that too. I was really thinking about it. Other than I was just gonna mention my daughter too did archery for a while and did really good, and she got like 3rd in state, and we were just kind of messing around still, and she just picked it up pretty well in training. And then this year we had already been talking about like maybe not, maybe this. We'll see. Let's keep going. Okay. So there's already times where I felt like I was kind of pushing her, and she would do good. Things with scheduling, and then I think she just liked it, but didn't necessarily want to do it. So it was like, whatever. I'm like okay, we'll give it a break too. Doesn't mean we can't come back to archery, and we'll see. So, and I want him to do something. I try not to compare him too much to myself, right? Not comparing. Your kids are different. They're a mixture of you and your spouse, and they're going to be different. They'll have some things. I'll see my son do something. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's so me. I'm sorry. Like don't act like that. But people are different. In comparison, if I could be a big brain right now and think, there's a lovely quote that I really like. Comparison is, what is it? Not birth. Something. Comparison just breeds like self-doubt or self-defeat. If you constantly look at other people, I'm like, why aren't I that fast? Why am I not that strong? Why am I not this, good looking? Like, it's not you. You're different, and you have your own, kind of race, rather to say, or marathon to run, to quote another scripture. But that's, yeah, you want him to do good, and Skylar be a little competitive, but I didn't do anything like sports related until like 7th grade, 8th grade maybe. And what I don't want to have that in my head, I have like, well, what if I was pushed to do that? What if I had, what if I did do something else? Like, I wonder what I would have learned, or how good I could have been, or whatever else. So we tried T-ball one time with my son, and he like cried on the field and was like not moving. I'm like, okay, we're done. And that was like last year, but
there is definitely a fine line of pushing them too hard and pushing them the right amount, and it's hard to find the exact level that you're supposed to push them. Like, because I do coach my son's football team, and I do push him harder than most, because he is my son, and I do expect more from him. Even though I shouldn't, I do. But it's hard sometimes trying to figure out, okay, am I pushing him because I know he can do it? Or is this what I would have done? And this is how I would have been able to get through this. Yeah. And I'm just shoving it on him. So I think you just got to be realistic with yourself and realize there is a balance to it, and you're going to cross it one way or another sometimes. And hopefully, it helps to have my wife. When I do cross that, she's like, "Whoa, back it up."
She'll catch it. Yeah.
And I'm like, and it'll give me a second. I'll be like, "You're right. I went too far. Let me go fix this." Because what you don't want them hating the sport or archery. You don't want them to feel forced to do it. Because
right, it's a job and not like
they're not gonna love it. Yeah. You want them, because obviously if I'm coaching football, it's because I love it. I don't want him to hate it. I want him to love it too. So we always have this something to bond with, and I can have a relationship with my son forever. And hopefully he comes watch football with me when I'm old and cranky.
Right. Where's the line of you want your kid to grow up some and be like, Dad, thanks for pushing me, and not like grow up and like fight you, or like, you made me this way.
Yeah.
Where's this line?
I watch a lot of Paternity Court. Don't judge. And you see a lot of when that line gets crossed, and you're like, well, I know not to do that.
I'll write that down real quick. All right. So let's finish here on something running related.
I have something for a second. You're talking about don't judge or compare yourself to other people.
Yeah.
That's one thing I think you've talked about it before too, and I like to do, is when I get these results of these races, I never look at what place I came in. I never look at who beat me, who I beat. It's always just my time and my old time. That's the only thing I focus on, is my self-improvement. I don't care if one race I'm in last place, then the next race I am even lower. I don't even know how you get lower than last place, but even lower than that. The time is the only thing I'm worried about. It's comparing it to myself.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good way to kind of wrap it up here. And we've said that before, is just like when people say run your own race, that's what I think of. That's the definition of running your own race. You worry about you. You know what you need to do. If you are, like I was mentioning, if I start tomorrow and I'm like, okay, we are going to be competitive. Okay, then if the goal is to be in the top 3 or top 5 or whatever it is, then I will be aware of the time after and compare myself, because that's that goal.
Right.
If it is, we're going to finish this race because it's our first 50K, 30K, 10K, whatever, then okay. You should definitely set goals, but don't let them, set your character yourself, or like that's what you lean on, like the medals are nice, but they don't define you. This is for you to do this and push yourself and, have something hard to do so you can compare it to something else when you next time something life, gets a little rough. You're like, maybe this isn't so bad because I've been through some crap that I put myself through and I controlled that. So this is nothing. I put myself through that torture. Yeah. Running your own race is I highly recommend it. And when you say it, you need to, plan and know what you mean when you tell yourself, we're just going to run our own race tomorrow. Okay. That doesn't mean halfway through you decide to PR. And when you don't PR, you're upset. If it happens, it happens. But, yes. All right. Any other final words or nice little tips?
Nope. Next time we do this episode, I plan to be under 3. And one day we're going to put this, it's going to be 6'5", 199. That's not true. I will never be that small. I don't think I would look good. But like a skeleton.
You would look like me, but leaner.
And a little taller.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you'd be even taller. Dude, yay. I'm so glad we finally got this done and got to do. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your stories and everything. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do in the 10K and look forward to it, buddy.
Sounds good. I'm excited for you tomorrow.
Yay. All right. Thank you, sir. This has been the Light on Trail podcast, and may the dirt be forever under your feet.